Hello, everyone. On behalf of Kovair Software, I welcome you to our today's webinar, Why Analyze Flow Metrics in Software Delivery. Industry analysts unanimously agree on the importance of analyzing flow metrics in software delivery. In this webinar, my colleagues Akshay Sharma and Shomonil Chaudhary will elaborate on that with a presentation and a demo. We'll have a Q&A session in the last part of the webinar. Akshay is our CTO. He spent 10 years at Gartner as an analyst. He has years of experience in software design and delivery. Shomonil is the manager of our solutions team. He has been directly involved with numerous customer engagements to understand their needs and deliver solutions accordingly. So without further ado, let me hand it over to Akshay. Akshay, it's all yours. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Rajiv. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. And I hope you can see my screen that I'm sharing in a PowerPoint.
Yes, we can see it, yes.
Okay, great. I don't know if the screen moves. I moved to the next slide. I don't know if it's moving correctly, but
it has not moved, actually.
Yeah, so how, let's see. How do we make sure it moves? Or do you have my screen by chance?
I see your screen, Akshay.
Okay.
But
somehow
the
it's not.
Screen is not moving.
Yeah, so I don't know how to solve that. Let me see if there's another way.
Yeah, can you?
Did it move to the next slide now?
Yeah, it is to the next slide, yes.
Okay, I'll have to manually.
Yeah, maybe you could do it that way.
Okay.
Sure.
So thank you, everyone. Sorry for the little bit of a delay here, but as you can tell, having metrics and processes are very important in any software delivery. I find from my own personal experience, having worked for many companies and being a Gartner analyst for a decade, as Rajiv mentioned, the successful companies I have seen in my experience are those where process and metrics are part of the inherent culture, and things are just clicking as if nothing is out of the normal. And the companies that are unsuccessful are those where it's chaos. No one knows what's happening, milestones are missed, no real method to the madness, no real metrics that are meaningful, no real root cause analysis or any introspection being done. And so, as we know from experience, the companies that are very successful have real metrics, real-time metrics, where they enable measurement as it happens that are meaningful to the business outcomes, like customer satisfaction, like revenue, how much money you're making, like all the flow metrics, like the flow of data in and out of your company. Code is data, metrics are data, getting invoices, money into the company is a form of data. And having the right dashboards to measure all of this, I think is very important. And the companies that do it right are those that are successful, and those that don't, unfortunately, are unsuccessful. And so what we're going to show in this presentation, hopefully you've seen the next slide, is where Kovair uniquely provides solutions for value stream management. And so if I were to use a slide from my previous employer at Gartner, they have a value stream management platform view of things, where you need a platform that enables governance, enables project lifecycle, project and portfolio management, along with product lifecycle management, process and workflow automation, governance, and then also having a view towards customer needs, business metrics, business planning, where your resources are being used. And of course, customer satisfaction scores, customer value, even when things aren't going right, like trouble ticketing, being able to measure that, even in the delivery to real-world performance monitoring of your solution, having metrics there. And so what we're finding out is there's many kinds of metrics. There's business metrics, product metrics, team metrics, technical metrics, reliability and risk metrics, and a successful company is one that can measure all of these. So let's talk about business metrics. Business metrics can be tracking performance, tracking cost, tracking delays, tracking value of your products, tracking an ROI, a return on investment, customer satisfaction scores. And so these are unique, to the business, but where Kovair provides some unique value add are hooks into CRM and ERP metrics, along with revenue and monetization metrics. We hear about things like DORA reports, DevOps research assessment metrics, lead time, deployment frequency, work in progress metrics. And where Kovair uniquely provides are product lifecycle metrics and project and portfolio management metrics. Then we talk about team metrics like skills assessment, retention, employee satisfaction. And we actually have one of our lead customers using our Kovair platform for individual performance reviews, resource tracking, and process compliance metrics, which is unique. Technical metrics can be code delivery, code, bugs, defects, how many defects per lines of code. These are the traditional metrics. But where we at Kovair have some unique capabilities is we also have security vulnerability assessment metrics and cloud delivery application performance monitoring metrics. And then reliability, the mean time to restore. There's always going to be some failure. Typically, it could be hardware failure as well. And your mean time between failure, mean time to repair and restore the service is always a key metric. And these come under the risk and hazard management metrics. So, we at Kovair also uniquely provide that too. Now, a lot of times you'll also have integration platform as a service or a software bus to connect to data sources. And Kovair's Omnibus is unique in that regard as well. So not only do we have the metrics, but we have hooks into existing systems to enable a lot of process integration with our own workflow engine as well. And so these are a lot of the value propositions that we'll see in Shomanel's demo. But to just highlight some of the things that we're doing, we have a flexible management platform. So a lot of the metrics are pre-configured, but if you need to uniquely create your own metric, we have a platform that allows for custom development of your own metrics. So some of the key values we bring, I mentioned DevOps, but guess what? There's a lot of legacy waterfall-based application lifecycle management, ALM, delivery out there as well. And Kovair uniquely spans legacy ALM to DevOps to even newer DevSecOps delivery. You may have heard of containerization with Kubernetes or Docker type delivery. We have a platform to support that. You may have heard of Red Hat and OpenShift environments. We support that as well. A new buzz in the industry is low code, no code, drag and drop enablement of services and service delivery. We support that as well. Some of the other key metrics you will see, time to market. How do you reduce that? Even automation within a workflow engine and having metrics for process compliance within that workflow engine. You may hear about things like pipeline as code in DevOps. So that's another thing we also support. Part of the cloud delivery, one of the advantages is, flexibility, pay as you grow, just-in-time delivery of solutions, being able to develop and deliver in the cloud almost, on an as-needed basis. So that's something that we support as well. And then there's I would say a bigger theme is how do you transition IT department from a cost center into a value center? How do you make your IT actually generate money for the business, and having a lot of the metrics that support it, but also the enabling technologies like cloud-based delivery, like APIs to everything, opening up APIs. But it's not just opening APIs willy-nilly, it's opening it up with a business mindset, with security, with disaster recovery built in, with role-based access controls. And that's part of the Omnibus platform that has been recognized by leading analyst firms like Gartner as well. And so we support that too. So basically, Kovair stands holistically with, complete project and portfolio management, lifecycle management, and the complete dashboards for the metrics. And on that note, I'll transition to Shomanil, who will then show us hopefully this in action with a live demo. So Shomanil, please take it from here. Thanks.
Thanks, Akshay. So, can you give me the screen sharing mode, please? Yeah. So can you all see my screen? And I hope I'm audible.
Yep.
Okay. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who's joined this webinar from the different parts of the globe. So why flow metrics, huh? So flow metrics provides a business and a customer-centric view of what flows across the entire software delivery process, regardless of the methodologies that you use. It provides a simple, high-level view of the effect of your agile and DevOps transformations on your business results. So while DORA, that's DevOps Research and Assessment, makes up a very small part of the value stream management, that's only the development part. Flow metrics, it's being used to measure the end-to-end flow of a software value stream. And that's the reason we will first go from left to right, starting with the DORA reports and then go to flow metrics. Okay, so this is the Kovair application. As you're seeing, it's a 100% web-based application. And this, the Kovair actually provides various values to its customers through its range of products. And when we talk about that, so Kovair has Kovair ALM Studio, which provides PPM and ALM capabilities to its customers, thereby managing ALM either in a waterfall model or in the agile model. It could be through its DevOps tool, where it allows the CI/CD pipeline management, tracking the different deployments across the different releases that we track. And further, we have an integration platform, that's what we call Kovair Omnibus, with which organizations can connect to different tools that the different groups are using in it, and they can create an integration ecosystem along it. And based on that, they can share data, they can have a common traceability once the cross-tool data comes into this platform, and we can have reports on DORA, we can have reports on flow metrics. So talking about digital transformation, so that has turned every organization into a software organization, regardless of the industry that they are part of. And on one hand, it's required to react faster to cater to the changing customer needs, as well as on the other hand, it delivers stable services to their customers. So in order to meet these requirements, the DevOps team are constantly in need to improve themselves. So these DORA metrics and flow metrics address these needs by providing objective data to measure the performance of the software delivery teams, drive product improvement more effectively and efficiently at a better accelerated pace. So as you can see in this dashboard, these DORA reports, so you can see the deployment frequency. It shows uh, how frequently the pipelines are being executed and deployments are being done. So the question might come into your mind that how you are getting this data. Is it something I need to feed in? I need to enter it manually? So the answer is no. The thing is, we are fetching this data from an external tool that's Kovair DevOps. So this is the Kovair DevOps tool where you can see several of the pipelines are being configured, and a Kovair and a DevOps pipeline consists of manual and automated tasks with which you constitute a pipeline, and these automated tasks execute, and based on these executions, you get this data into the Kovair application. So that it actually shows how many times a pipeline has been executed. It's getting executed in the DevOps tool. It's coming over here. It's getting reflected in this dashboard. So members who are not part of the DevOps tool or not part of the development process, the deployment team, can still see how frequently that's getting done from the Kovair dashboard. Lead time for changes. So lead time for changes you can see over the period of time. These are the flow items that you are seeing, and how much time it's taken to do the bug fix or implement a new feature or to address any other changes, right from how much time it has been taken to have that idea to get into deployment. So each of these you can see the amount of time spent in days. Going into the change failure rate, you can see it shows the percentage of deployments causing failure in production. Again, we're getting this data out of the Kovair DevOps tool, where you can see on a date-wise basis, on a period of time, what's been the failure rate in terms of percentage, and the time to resolution. So time to resolution says like how long it takes an organization to recover from a failure in production, right? So we can see based on these defects that occurred in the production, what has been the resolution time in hours that these issues were resolved. So these data that you are seeing over here are actually getting fetched from the DevOps tool, and we are reflecting that data into the Kovair dashboard. Now getting on to flow metrics. So in Kovair, you can create dedicated dashboards. And that's an example where you can see we have a dedicated dashboard for DORA reports. We have a dedicated dashboard for flow metrics. So the first one is the flow time. So which shows that what's the time taken by the team to complete the work from the moment it's being accepted to the moment it's being released. So on the x-axis, you can see the different releases which actually delivers value to the customers. And through each of these release, the different flow items, that's a feature, defect, technical debts, risks. So these are being included in the release. And when the release was being accepted, and what's the duration of that release has been completed. So here is a trend which shows you the duration of each of these releases, a reflection of flow time. Talking about flow efficiency. So flow efficiency reveals ineffectiveness and bottlenecks in your value stream. Proportion of it's a proportion of active time out of the total elapsed time, and you can see over here that these are the flow items on the x-axis, which is reflecting that in implementing these flow items, what has been the efficiency percentage. So in delivering every flow item, it's the moment it gets submitted, there is a lag time till it is accepted, and even from acceptance during the implementation time, we experience various kinds of lags. So Kovair has the concept of calculations that can be done using expression builders. So once the data is being trapped, you can have that plotted and calculated automatically in the form of this graph. Talking about flow load, how many of these flow items per release are work in progress? So you can talk about, like, it's a leading indicator showing the teams are whether overloaded and too much work is in progress relative to their capacity. So per release, you can see the number of features. So please have a look at the legends. So if you focus on this particular release, there are 12 features which are work in progress. Five are defects that are work in progress. So for a better visibility, you let me pop it out, and you can see a greater visibility of the items. So five are the defects that are work in progress in this release, and rest are technical debts and risk. Okay, so it shows per value, per stream, what are the amount of items that are work in progress, the amount of flow items that are in progress. Okay, uh, and then the flow velocity. So the rate at which the flow items are getting completed. Again, each of the categories of the flow items are getting reflected per stream, and you can see the number of features and technical debts and defects that are getting completed within a stipulated period of time per release. Finally, coming into the flow distribution, where you can see per stream or per release, what is the distribution of a particular category of item among all the items that are being addressed or included in this particular stream. So you can see that out of all these total flow items, 46% of features has been completed, 13% of defects have been completed, 13% of technical debts, and 26% of the risks has been addressed. So per release, you can see the distribution of flow items across the period of time. So that was with respect to the items from Dora as well as from Flow. So hopefully you can understand the amount of value that you can derive just by having a look into a dashboard, which gives a single visibility to all the aspects of flow metrics as well as to the Dora metrics. Thank you. So that was all from the presentation, and we are open for questions.
Thanks, Shomunil. Thanks, Akshay, for the presentation and the demo. So let me open it up for some questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to type it in the chat box. I already have one question here. This is regarding, let me read it out. Can metrics like flow distribution include the items from connected tools or those that have to be fed in the system?
Oh, absolutely. So if we think of a scenario where the flow items consist of features which might be coming from a tool called C Agile Central or maybe ServiceNow. You can have risks getting tracked in Jira. You can have technical debts getting addressed in some other tools. So using Kovair Omnibus, you can hook up these tools to the platform and fetch in the data. And once you have that data in the tool, you are linking it to the release and you are generating these reports. So the answer is yes, and that is achievable using Kovair Omnibus along with this ESB.
Thanks, Ramonil. I have another question. Can we export these graphical reports to any image for management reporting?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have functionalities for exporting as an image, and that you can copy it and paste in, and you can have it in your presentation or Word documents for presenting to do a presentation to a management.
Okay, thanks. Okay, that's another interesting question about different flow metrics reports. Okay, the next question is, as we see that Kovair platform can generate flow metrics related reports, now can anyone create some other flow related metrics using mouse click like count of features in flow distribution and their priority?
Yes, Kovair has a built-in reporting engine, and if you know that all these reports are created on the configuration platform using this reporting engine. So yes, if you have any particular flow metrics, so using the Kovair reporting engine, you can get into the platform, you can create the report using just by mouse click configurations. So you can see the report name, you can provide which particular field to provide in the x-axis like release, you can put the y-axis configuration like the actual time spent on days, and then you select the particular chart type, and then you set the visibility like who is supposed to view into that report, and that is all. The report is ready for you.
Thanks, Ramonel. And the last question I see, apart from reports, what is the automation tool that can provide to achieve a seamless deployment process?
Yeah, so here is it, the Kovair DevOps tool. So you can connect the Kovair platform to this DevOps tool, and you can achieve bidirectional integration. For example, you can trigger a pipeline from the Kovair ALM platform based on certain status, and that triggers the pipeline. Once the pipeline gets executed, you can fetch back the status, you can sync back the status of the pipeline execution back into the Kovair platform, and exactly that's the bidirectional integration is the basis of generating this DORA reports that I talked about is the deployment frequency. So the pipeline with respect to the number of times a pipeline has been executed, that's the source.
Thanks, Ramonel. And I know that the time is, our allocated time is over. I would like to thank again on behalf of Kovair Software, everyone who joined this webinar. I'd like to thank our presenters, Akshay and Shomonil. And this recorded webinar will be available on our website. So please feel free to visit our website, ask your colleagues to review it as well. And if you have any further questions, do not hesitate to send us an email at sales@kovair.com or info@kovair.com. Again, on behalf of Kovair Software, I'd like to thank everyone. Join us in future webinars. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.